happy Saturday, everybody. Welcome to Wacky Weekend Lite, the Artie show without Artie. Hope you're all well on the other side of the computer screen. Hey, Mark from Zantech. So let me just say hello to who I've seen in here. Hot Dog Pilot Andy. Attila Varga is here. Chris from the Valleys is here. Randall Ellison just popped in. Hello, Randall. John Benicki is here. And Zantech, did I get it right? Your name is Mark. And Dave from Beaten Off is here. It was absolutely so cool to meet you. You told me then that you come to Gets almost every year, but I just was not expecting to meet you. So it was very cool to see you and meet you and hear that you're, it was sad to hear the problems, but that you are now going back at it, giving it all again. So, I'm bad with new names. Once I hear them a couple of times, then I hear the names. And this is, of course, is Artie's show, but until Artie comes out of the Witness Protection Program, I am your compere for the evening. Unfortunately, this week has been a crazy week, and so I really didn't have a lot on my plate to come up with an idea for the show. Because as you know, since I've temporarily am hosting Artie's show, I don't want it to be just a repeat of my live stream. I do my live stream my way, and I try to do Artie's show. But I will share with you one thing I did do. I'll try to take my camera over there, and hopefully you guys will all still hear. I've got the camera view on as other people come in. It was very cool. I watch another friend do trucker games at times, as well as my friend Randall does car and truck racing games. But in case you're new to my universe, and everybody here already knows because most of you were here on my live stream last night, the last 3 weeks have been an adventure, a roller coaster, a hurricane. 3 weeks ago, I got an email from a friend saying he was had to get rid of his trains. He was getting out of the hobby and life situation. He's got to get rid of all his trains. Asked me which ones I wanted. And I sent him a number and said, how many could I get for this price? And he said, all of them. So you all know that. And I put up a series of videos called Herb's Collection as they came in, 8 boxes. Now, one of the things I told Herb I would do was that I would build a display, to honor his collection. Now, I've already, yesterday in my live stream, I ran 3 different trains that were from Herb's collection, as well as one that was actually mine. It was really weird. It was really weird to have that ICE-3, the very first model train I ever bought, and have it back on my tracks again, to have the box, open it up. It was like getting it again for the first time. All the memories of when I first got that train, and I ran it yesterday. So I had 3 Herb trains and my ICE-3, which I traded to Herb for an ICE-1 and some other stuff. And now I have it back, and it's just very cool. Hey, Dwight, how are you? Great to have you here, Mr. Curly. So I've been working and cleaning some areas up, and what I did was this. Now, I won't be able to see chat, so bear with me, but I'm going to take the phone over here. I'll actually disconnect it, but I'm going to go on phone cam, although I need to mute the mic before I do it. But there you have the phone cam. So it's kind of hard to see, but over there is my ICE-3. That is that white train there. That is the very first model train I ever bought. It got me into the hobby, got me addicted to it. And then over there, you can see some of my train collection. That's my train collection. Those are my high-speed trains over there. And then some of my other consistent locos that I try to keep together. And then you've got these two flags here, which is to keep the cats off of stuff. But then you can see my collection of locomotives. These are my locomotives here. The top shelf is all Märklin. The second shelf is anything not Märklin. So Rocco, Pico, and Brava, and Mahano. Am I forgetting anybody? So we've got the Märklin collection, locomotives, and that. But I do have a bunch of locomotives over there. But what I did was, I'm going to step back here, and hopefully you can see it. I built this morning. I built this morning, and it's not done. In fact, what I'm going to do is, before I go over there, my apologies, I'm going to mess with you. And by the way, here's a bunch of trucks I bought from Herb as well. These are a bunch of pickup trucks. What I'm going to do, how big is my layout? My layout is, well, if I go ahead and stay on the camera here, but I'm going to post the link, and if somebody could come in and then maybe you could read me comments while I go, ooh, look at this. We are infinity and beyond. Woo, psychedelic. It's not the drugs. It's just the mind. Whoa. Okay, sorry about that. Hey, Tammy and Ray. Nice to have you. But anyhow, somebody asked about my layout. So this side, this is 8 foot wide and 12.5 foot deep. And then the middle section here, you can see my control center here, my Central Station 3, and my computer, my supercomputer down here, my dual monitor. And then this middle section is 2.5 feet deep, 30 inches by 6 feet. And then this side is 8 foot by 11.5 foot deep. So it kind of forms a big U or N, or however you want to view it, a C. Just depends on which angle you're at. But anyhow, so the long run back here is just over 22 feet long. So the long stretch in the back here is 22 feet long. That is my Railjet, which I think is the coolest livery in the world. But yeah, I am lucky to have all that. Randall has just come in. All right, Randall, let me pop you up. Randall, you are now screen.
Hey, Anthony.
Hi there. All right, so I'm going to go over to my new Herb. I've got, but I want to show this to you. But that way, Randall, I should be able to hear you. And this microphone's really good. I think you guys should still be able to hear me. Can you?
Yeah, I can hear you just fine.
Great, because that is a super mic. But anyhow, so all of this is stuff I bought from Herb, but this is not all I got from Herb. This is just what I have put on display so far. So on the very top, we have some electric-based trains, including an ICE Amtrak. This actually came to America and ran, and this is a special collector's edition, and this is the certificate that goes with it. 5,000 were made, and this was number 3,680. So it's, but it also came with a couple little pictures and that go with it. So I put these up. These used to hang on Herb's house. Now they're hanging here in honor of Herb. In the back, I've got a box which you can trade out on your ICE ones to double them up and make a double consist. And then over here, I have an ICE2. This is an ICE2. And then I just have some of these electric locomotives here. Now, sadly, not all of these are 3-rail. Most of these are 2-rail, so they can't run on my main layout. Now we have some diesel locomotives. So this is a V200. This is a 218. This is one of the classics of German model trains, V200. This is also a 216 that needs some work, and I'll be repainting it because I can take off that shell and put this shell on. It's the same shell. This one will be running on my layout. I'm going to make this digital. And just a whole bunch of locomotives here. So that's diesel. And then I've got the high speeds again. These are an ICE 1 with the German flag stripe instead of the usual red stripe you have on the ICEs. An ICE 3 with the German flag stripe. And then a really gorgeous Lufthansa Express, which unfortunately is 2 rails, so I can't run it. I can't run the loco. I can run the cars, but not the loco. But what a gorgeous loco there. And then a very special, this is a very rare and collectible train set, the ICE Experimental. This is the very first ICE Germany built. And then all the gorgeous steam locomotives. So I don't know if anybody's asking any questions or anything there.
I can look on chat for you, Anthony, if you want me to.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm hoping. Somebody could,
Okay.
just if somebody's asking something. And then all these gorgeous steam locomotives.
Hey, Tammy and Ray.
And then his beer car collection, which, again, you can't see all of them. They're just all put down here. What actually I'm going to do, I'm going to be putting a whiteboard down here to match this, but it'll be 6 foot long on this credenza here. And I'm going to put the longer trains down here. For example, right here is a train from Herb that ran in my live stream last night. It's an Italian night train. In other words, a sleeper train. So you see that Cuscette.
Attila Vargas says, look, I may not be pronouncing this right, and I apologize if I'm not, Anthony. It's Lufthansa, Lufthansa.
Yeah, Lufthansa. It's the German
Okay.
airway. It's the German air company.
Yeah, well, Attila said I'd love to see that on my layout.
Yeah, too bad, Attila. Not happening.
And Tammy and Ray says, just in awe of the collection. Very spectacular.
Now, this is not all the collection. Now, by the way, yesterday on my live stream, I was running this guy. This was the special beer cars. So there's 30-some beer wagons over on that table I just showed you, but I took my favorites, these with the kegs and everything on. I put those on and ran that yesterday. So that's from Herb. And then another beautiful train from Herb was this Era 1, pre-World War I guy. Isn't that a beautiful cool locomotive from over 100 years ago? It's not a rocket per se, it's not that old, the Stevenson rocket, but very cool right there. So that was another train of his that I was running yesterday. But there's more to that. For example, over here, I've got all kinds of freight cars and flat cars. This is all from Herb right here. That's all from Herb right there. That's a bunch of his freight cars and container wagons and such, and I just got them stacked in there for now. Some passenger cars from Herb that I have not found a place to put yet other than right here. And then down in here, I've already mixed in. For example, let me see, where are they? I've got to pick the right drawer here. Nope, not that one. Yeah, yep. Nope, wrong. Sorry, wrong. That's right, I moved things around. So, like right here, these are all the Orient Express cars. This entire collection of cars here are from Herb. This is part of Herb's collection. Look at that. Isn't that a beautiful coach?
Ooh, I like that one. Is that the Orient Express one you said you got?
Yeah, these are from different companies, but it's the Orient Express. This is all cars
cool.
of the Orient Express.
I like that one. That's a really nice one.
Those are Pullmans, but they're for the Orient Express. And I even have various baggage cars. So that was all from Herb. And then I got to see where else. Nope, that's Herb. This is mine. This is mine. I got a bunch of tankers here. This is all from Herb right here. All these tankers in here. These are my tankers right here, but these are all Herb's tankers right here. So half this drawer is my old one, and half of this is Herb stuff. So he had a bunch of tankers, but mostly they were Arl, A-R-A-L, and then a couple of shells. But so this was Herb's, but the one behind it is mine.
Hey, Dave, Crooked River and Eastern.
That was all part of Herb's collection. And then I've got a bunch of trains, coaches in here. And again, so I've mixed this, but like this one, the Deutsche Weinstrasse, there's a series of 3 cars that go with this. This was a, how do you say it? It was a rental train, a hire train. What's the phrase I'm looking for? You could, an excursion train that would go on special trips. But the Deutsche Weinstrasse, so it went through the German wine region, and it would stop off at towns where you could check out the vineyards and so forth. This is a Gesellschaftswagen, which is German basically for the party wagon. This was basically a bar and nightclub on wheels, and that went with the Weinstrasse. So I've got a few of those from him. And then lastly, not this kit. Where'd I put them? Down here, this drawer. Some of this is from my friend Horst, but a lot of these cars, like this one, I've got a set of these cars. This is the baggage car, and then there are passenger cars that go with this. This is also from Herb. So those I've already mixed in with my collection. There's one more set here. I got a set of cars like this, which I think are just beautiful as well. That's a post office van. You see the little horn symbol that throughout Europe is known as a symbol for the post office. So I had a few of those cars as well. So yeah, just that. So that is the main. That was the locomotives and the high-speed trains and such. And then some of his collection is on my layout, and others of it has already been mixed in with my collection. And then, like I said, I'm sorry, I'm going to make you dizzy. Where you see all those beer cars, I'm going to put another board in there, and I will lay out when I take them off my layout. I'll put like this long Italian train here and this beer wagon train. Those will go across that table. And maybe one of those ICEs that are up top up there. I will put those together so they have room to really be stretched out and shown. But that is Herb's collection, and now we go back to infinity. Woo!
Valley 56 is asking about the wagons Lits, L-I-T-S.
Whoops. Well, at least that'll allow me to get this off. I'm going to turn that camera off now. So disconnect it. The dining section of the Orient Express is made up of 9 cars. You have a bunch of sleeper cars. You did have a couple of passenger cars where the passengers could come out and sit in a communal room, as well as their own compartment could sit in there. For example, they used a proxy of the Orient Express in the James Bond movie From Russia with Love. So you could have those luxury cars where you had a sleeping room, but also a sitting room next to it.
Valley's 56 is asking about the wagons Lits, I think. L-I-T-S is what he's asking.
Yeah, wagons Lits. Yeah. That's French, so I can't specifically tell you what it means, but yes, a lot of them say that. They usually put it in at least 4 languages based on the main countries the Orient Express was going through. So it would say bar, Cardozi, Corona, and several, restaurant car or whatever. It will say different things in different corners of the car in the language. The primary languages it went through, including one of the Slavic languages as for when it went through. So yeah, you would have. So I think Wagen Leits. I think Leits would be another term for coach or what have you. But don't hold me to that. I can't swear to it. Well, hello, Brian. Wow, a lot of the UK guys are up and awake late tonight, but that's all good. So, yeah, it's been an emotional roller coaster because getting all this stuff, deciding to buy it. Okay. And again, I basically tapped into my children's inheritance. It didn't cost me anything out of my personal bank. It just, when I retired, I was given an investment portfolio and, that has money. And basically in the 2 years that I retired, it made X number of dollars profit. And I spent the profit buying this from, so I actually didn't take a dime away from my kids. I just, this is money I put aside for inheritance for my kids. It doesn't have to be. I could have spent it all myself. I could have gone out and bought myself a fancy luxury car or something like that. But I just set it aside as a emergency bit. But I decided to buy this train collection. We do not want to know about pooing the bed. But anyhow, yeah, that's so that's almost all of Herb's collection. There, like I said, there are a ton of flatbeds, gondolas, and such cars that were down in that one cubicle of that credenza I was showing you, where I've got all the boxes stacked in there, and they're stacked multiple deep. There's box cars in there. Collectible ones. For example, he's got a series of ones that are from Oktoberfest, where each car is from a different year of Oktoberfest with the logo for that year, the ad logo, and so forth. Yeah, it's just it's on and on and on. I probably got 20 gondola and flatbeds alone, and then I got 45 beer wagons, counting the ones that are on the layout. There was over close to 50 of those. And yeah, it was a lot for him to have to pack up and ship. It was emotional to let it all go. It's emotional to receive it. And I wanted to honor the friendship of Herb, and I wanted to honor Herb's collection. Most of these are not mint. They have been well used and loved. And I wanted to maintain that. And I think that's why Herb decided to just give it all to me, is because he sees me as an enthusiast, somebody who loves the toy aspect, the play aspect of it, the beauty of it, and isn't like I'm collecting it for monetary value. Because there are some very rare things over there, and I would be smarter from a financial point of view to put them in boxes and never touch them. But my goal is to have them to run with them. Oops, somebody has been in the basement for a while. Well, welcome, Zantech. How are you?
Not so bad, Anthony. Yourself?
I'm doing peachy, if I can avoid that. If I can just avoid all the emotions that are going on, because obviously, as everybody knows, because I've only talked about it for we, Joyce and I, in the midst of all this, and then one of the boxes got lost. In the midst of all this, we went Thursday night. We got on a plane. Friday morning, we arrived in London Heathrow. Friday noon, we're in Milton Keynes. Friday evening, we're meeting all the YouTubers. Saturday, we're meeting all the folks at Warley, and then we came to Getz Saturday afternoon, and then Sunday we were at Getz, and it was just yeah,
you had a busy weekend.
Yeah, well, I mean, busier than some for sure. It was great to meet people because I met you. That was kind of cool. The funny thing was, when we met people, one of the funny events, it sounds egotistical, it isn't, but there was a point where several of UK big channels were standing together, and I was kind of in the middle of it because Alan from Dragon Junction's talking to me. Peter Dixon from Torden Road's talking to me. A couple other people there. And so they're all talking to me. And then there were these people I didn't recognize. And then there's all my friends as well. And I'm just kind of in the middle of all this. And all of a sudden you could just see these channels I didn't know or recognize or wasn't subscribed to. And they're all like, who the hell's that? Why is everybody around him? Well, because I'm an American that came all the way from America just to meet everybody. And I didn't come for the shows. I came to meet people. And so all of a sudden these people I didn't know are coming up like, hi, nice to meet you. And that's how I kind of met Mark here. I did not know of your channel. Now I do. And
I didn't even know of yours either.
Yeah, right. And that's the thing. I mean, question to the UK viewers. Did you all feel small and short around Anthony?
You're not that tall. Come on.
Well, I don't know what it is in millimeters right now. I'm 176 inches, almost 176 inches.
So,
166 centimeters, something like that.
So Ferndon Central Mall Railway, yes, those are Christmas trees, and they do light up. In fact, I can plug them up and let you see them lit up because we are getting about that time anyway. So,
I made Andy feel 10 foot tall.
There you go.
Those container skates double stacked.
Yeah, they are.
Yep. Can't do that anywhere else, but in America we double stack them.
And these cars, they will run in either the singles, like you see, the single. How am I trying to say this? Single unit cars, like you see them on this train. They also have what they call a 3 unit and a 5 unit cars. So, which are articulated. They're technically one car, but they're 3 individual wells.
Oh yeah, I know the things.
So.
Okay, hang on. I got to do something here. Dave at Beatenoff, he says no about the same height. So I'm gonna disprove that myth just for a second. About this, I mean about the same height, sure, but maybe. But I have video or photographic evidence. So let me get to it here.
But Tilly, you guys don't have any clearance issues there in Australia.
I think I'm a little taller than David. In fact, I can put one of the 5 unit cars on, let you guys see that for people that haven't seen that. So, let me stop this train. I'll pull this Athearn car off because it's kind of wide anyway. So, I will say, out of all the YouTubers I met, I was the tallest. Maybe there was somebody there earlier or later, but David and then Colin from Woodthorpe were the closest in height to me. And Alan from Dragon Junction is not short either. He was in there.
Yep.
Yeah, needs knighting. Now, you have to understand, this is Artie's live stream, and so we don't officially do the knighting ceremony here. This is not the Knights of the Rhomboid Table, even if it's on my channel. And David is already a knight on my channel.
So give me just a few minutes, and I'll get one of the 5 unit cars out. That kind of got things kind of piled up.
But yeah, it was quite an experience, to say the least. So, all right, Mark, what you showing?
Just my layout. I've got this one here. I've got that one there.
2 timing.
So this is my engage layout, my main one.
I don't think we're running it yet.
You've got DBT. 6
Oh,
coaches.
but I like that Caledonian. I'm jealous of that Caledonian. I like that one.
Oh, that's hand painted with the trowel, that is. Got a Japanese locomotive on the front. That's a seating car. That's your restaurant car, and these are your sleepers.
Very nice, very
I've
nice.
got this here.
Oh, I love the Caledonian
E657.
with the horns. That's such a cool train.
I need to be careful with this.
I've got.
This one of the ventilators off.
Oh, now we've got a fight going on between Vegemite and Marmite.
Neither.
You both they're both sucky. What are you talking about?
I'd rather have pineapple on pizza.
There you go. Professor Pat Pending. So, yeah, it's just been, I don't know. I feel like I've talked about it too much and I haven't talked about it enough because it just so much happened and memories are jumbled and, but it was very cool to see and meet so many people and to see people I consider friends and to confirm, because you can meet somebody live after being friends with them on YouTube and then you meet them in person and go, oh, yeah, a little rough there. No, pineapple. Pineapple does not belong on pizza, and you will never.
I've had pineapple pizza, and it's not bad actually.
Randall,
that's been a long time ago.
Randall, you can be banned.
I'll tell you what is funky.
I didn't say it was
pineapples on cheeseburgers.
Cottage cheese and Marmite. Oh my God, Chris! Everybody has the gross thing they like. Okay, I'll just leave it at that. Everybody has the nasty thing they like. Except
I hate cottage cheese. I can't even stand to look at that stuff.
I used to love cottage cheese, and then I got a flu when I was in my 20s, and I had cottage cheese for dinner, and then you have a flu, a stomach virus sort of flu, and then it took years before I could even eat it again. Now I tolerate it, but it's not quite the same. Yeah, they call it a Hawaiian pizza. Throw pineapple on it, call it Hawaiian. Doesn't make it pizza. Jam and peanut butter and jelly, peanut butter and jam. See, I'll gross you out. I have a sandwich I like. Hey, there's Rick's Trains. How you doing? Well, Rick, you're banned already. Another pineapple on pizza is okay. Nope, I'm sorry. We are a welcoming community in model trains, but the minute you put pineapple on pizza, we have to segregate. No, I have a sandwich I like that the UK probably doesn't think about because peanut butter isn't that big outside the United States. But I like peanut butter and mayonnaise. That's my gross. I love peanut butter, and peanut butter and mayonnaise is something I did when I was young, and all of a sudden went, hey, that's actually good.
For anybody that's wondering, these cars here, they have a 40-foot jack inside, so they can only hold 40-foot containers on the bottom. You can put up to 48s, I think, on top. So when they just drop down, they'll stay.
Oh, my daughter loves that, David. My daughter loves Nutella on bread and rolls and that. And actually, peanut butter and Nutella.
And I can't say I've tried that.
Hey, Nancy, welcome in. The Spirit of Colorado Railroad Reborn.
Hey, Nancy.
More is here. Nice to have you. Ham and peanut butter. Oh, okay. I don't like ham, so anything with ham but peanut butter. But yeah, I like peanut butter. One thing I do is after I've had spaghetti, I'll go get a piece of bread and have peanut butter and butter, and then I will swipe up the rest of the spaghetti sauce. For some reason, peanut butter, and spaghetti sauce seem to go well together. But so, like I said, I did not really have time. My last day and a half was planning and then building that little shrine to, that little shrine over there, that little shrine to Herb's trains. There's so many things there, and it's literally going to take me months. And then on top of that, I got this big bag of 3D pieces, a 3D puzzle that Mark from Model Railway Fantasia sent me, and I probably should build a couple of those things, because if I let it sit too long, it'll probably hurt his feelings. Not that he would ever say that would hurt his feelings, but I feel like I should do it. Well, yeah, see, I still feel bad about that. I was saying goodbye to everybody, and my friend Dino actually has had rib injuries, and he has rib problems. So I tried not to hug him too tight, because he has had upper body issues. But I gave Andy a hug when we were saying goodbye, and I decided to make it a mammoth man bear hug. And I kind of did the hug them up and lift them up and all that. No ill effects. Afterwards, I thought that was kind of rude. But I got swept up in the moment. But otherwise, I think I'll just sit here and stare at you all. Because I've been on other people's live streams, and then I did my live stream last night where I talked a lot about it. So, but that's been my life. It's been Herb's trains, and then Getz, and the come down from Getz. I came home and I had a cold. I was sick Monday night. Tuesday I was pretty bad. Tuesday night, Wednesday morning I was really bad. Wednesday evening I started getting better. Thursday I was okay, but very tired. And I watched my grandson, and he actually is fighting a cold too. So we both just kind of, Opa, let's play. Okay, Kyan, let's play. And 5 minutes later, we're like, okay, that's enough.
There you go.
Has anyone used Tamiya acrylic paints? I have used Tamiya acrylic paints. And unfortunately, I used one of the colors that can be very difficult to work with. Reds and yellows. Yellows are one of the worst colors to try to paint with, especially in acrylic. And my issue was I don't think I had to thin it down. I felt like it just did not coat smoothly. You get like with certain yellows where it does not adhere well. And I have talked to professional paint makers and everything about this, and they say, yeah, the things they use, the chemicals they use to make yellow paint creates an issue, especially in acrylics when you're trying to paint with it. Even if it's thick, it goes on inconsistently, and you often have to do multiple coats. But where are my paints? I haven't used my paints in a while now. Oh my gosh. Stop. So yeah, I've got this one. That is the only Tamiya paint I have. But no, I did not feel I had to thin it out. I just felt it did not go on smoothly and consistently, and had to do multiple coats with it. And I don't think it was a question of it was too thinned out. But yeah. And that's Tamiya Red X7. But yeah, certain colors are a nightmare to work with. Certain whites, and then yellow. Just any shade of yellow, especially in acrylics, is an issue. That's from the pros themselves.
And have you ever used this brand at all?
Hang on, let's get you a large. Oh yeah, Citadel. I got all kinds of Citadel. I was a 3D war gamer, and I bought Games Workshop. I didn't get into Warhammer, but I did buy a lot of Games Workshop's Lord of the Rings figures. In fact, probably 1,000 of my 1,500 miniature war gamers are Games Workshop Lord of the Ring characters. So yeah, I've got a crap load of Citadel paints.
Yeah, so that's what I use for my acrylics. And generally speaking, they're not too bad.
No, actually, I loved them. I love Citadel paints, the newer pods, but here's how old. This is probably 22 years old. It's probably dried up now, but this is the old Citadel paint pots. This thing's older than a few things. I've had this for years and years and years. This goes back to early 2000, 1999, 2000.
Yes, we colored in the sleeper was done with Citadels.
The famous Goblin Green. Everybody that did it's got Goblin Green, but most of these are probably, if I open these up, they'd be hard as a rock. And they didn't even need Viagra. And I've heard lots of good things. Yeah, I've got a lot of old Citadel paints in there because I just don't paint like I used to. And even in the model train, actually the paints I'm using now, I stole the idea from Dave at ScotRail, the Scotsman living in Canada. Where did I put those bad boys? I try to hide them from my grandson because he likes to get into them. I've been using paint pens because I just can't do brushes anymore. The thin handled brushes, my hands just get too shaky. I find I'm a little steadier with thicker bits here, but I've got all kinds of these, and the company is called Colpart. And he was using those, and I thought it was great. In fact, I am working on a figure of Richard Brown from Trains in the Attic right now. I've done 2 coats on his shirt and 2 coats on his pants here. But this is Richard because he did this Model U, which if you're an American and you know Bernard from Mini Prints, Model U is a British company doing the same thing where they'll scan you, and they scanned him and made some figures. And he was handing them out, and he gave me one. And so I'm painting it so he can be on my layout. And then I have, where is he? I have, oh, there he is. I have Mark from Donegal Dad. And Joyce and I were going to do it. Joyce and I were going to do it, but it was like 65 pounds, so about $72 per person to do it. But yeah, I've got Mark from Donegal Dad here. An amazing likeness. I will tell you, I am impressed with the work of Model U. Fantastic stuff.
Yeah, I'll send me Caledonian coming through for you.
Hey, Monsville is here. Did I see Mav is here? Mav, how are you, my friend? I hope I can call you that. Great to see you here. Yeah, the thing is, I wanted to get one of me and Joyce and then do it in just a very basic, so you could, well, like I was going to take Joyce and then make a Lil character for Matt Clark and then a Daisy character, although I do have figures of Lil and Daisy upstairs that I've made. But I thought it'd be funny to do a Joyce version. And then Joyce says Wonder Woman, and Joyce said, never mind. I'm sorry. I did not say that publicly. I'm terribly sorry. I should not have said that. Fortunately, I don't think she's watching, so I can get away with it. I told Joyce I wanted to dress as Gunslinger Daisy for Halloween, and she just laughed at me hysterically. It's like that, but I need a bigger version one. It sounds good to you. Yeah, it was. But that's the thing. We got back and we were so tired. We had dinner, went to bed. And then Joyce got up and went to work, and she had a crap load of work to make up for because she had to turn in her grades by 2:00, and one of her bosses at work was yelling at her like, "Why are you waiting until 4:00 today to turn in your grades?" And Joyce was like, "I've been out of the country for 2 days. Well, 2 work days, 4 days total." And they, "Oh, well, I hope you had fun." And Joyce was like, "I did. Thank you." You know, oh, bosses can be, hey, yeah. Robin Taylor knows her stuff. So now you're on the big screen, Xantech.
Okay. I'm on the big screen. Fair enough. I'll say I got my stationery here with the canopy removable.
I like those canopies.
That's going to get lights in it eventually. Ooh, ow. How's that?
More Caledonians.
Oh.
I do like the Caledonians.
Yeah, I painted these with
you
things.
Painted those? I'm sorry, I'm going to interrupt you. You painted those?
Yeah.
Oh, very nice job. Because I was about to ask, because they're usually green, or at least the ones I've seen are green.
Yeah, that's what these will look like.
Oh, yeah.
But the restaurant car was a different livery, and the first class at the end was another livery as well. And it was just doing my head in that they're all different colours. So right, rattle things.
That's very nice. That's a nice run too. And this is N scale, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
With a Japanese N scale locomotive up at the head.
Which locomotive? What class?
That's a EF210.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know my Japanese locomotives, but I got a friend. I got a friend Christopher who's big in
E4 electric. F referring to 6 powered axles, and then it's class 210.
Now, was it made by Pato?
Yes, it is Kato. That's Kato as well.
Okay.
That's Kato. I've got 3 of these. And that's another pair of Kato units. That's the Imperial train there with another 210 respray.
Now, Nancy. Hang on. Now, Nancy, we do not show bias. We welcome all scales here, except for those freaks that do T scale. No.
That container train as well, that's also Kato. This here would have been my first layout. It's an 8 foot by 4 foot layout, 8 foot from there to there.
My first layout was a kitchen table until my wife said we needed to eat.
Another one of the Hot 7000 series diesel multiple units there. Scott Rail non-runner. Well, I made this out of, I used 2x4 for the structure. To give you an idea how strong it actually is, I'm actually sitting on the layout. And it doesn't move. Got the monument there as well.
Ant Gauge, a new song by Adam and the Ants. Oh, I'm sorry, no, Ant Gauge. Happy wife, happy life. Nope, we have to always correct that. It should be happy spouse, happy house. Both sides have to be happy, whether it's 2 men, 2 women, man and woman. Both sides have to be happy.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I had a kitchen table.
In my case, Anthony, it's happy cats, happy house.
There's that too. The Mrs. That's been Joyce's nickname forever too. She's always known as the Mrs. But everybody says that about their wife. We've been together almost 41 years now. Married 37, almost 41 total together.
That's good going.
Yeah, the problem is I age and she doesn't. I don't think it's fair. Oh, I've seen John Warner's. There are a few things. John Warner is so extremely cool, creative at Piccadilly. But like the first thing I remember years ago, the first time I came across John Warner's channel, this is 2018, sometime in 2018, 2019. He had just built that elevator lift for his original N-scale layout. And I thought that was the coolest thing ever. He had that elevator lift where the trains could pull on from the shadow station below, pull up, and then beep, beep, beep up to the one level, beep, beep, beep up to the next level. So brilliant, so cool. And yeah, his building of Piccadilly, which is what is it? It's the Piccadilly in Manchester. Wasn't that based on?
I'll say, Ant, as well. This here, that's come around now in 68, is another professional respray. It's not been done by me.
Hello, Charlie at Particle.
Hey, Particle, how you doing?
And so beautiful. Now, I haven't seen John's, because John then was doing a 00 gauge as well, Piccadilly, and he had Piccadilly sightings and Piccadilly, and then I kind of lost track. Well, I think we lost Mark. Oh, we'll keep an eye out and see if it goes back. And by the way, I think I saw Mons was here. Hello, Mons. Nice to have you here. But Brian, of course, one of the, I talk about it a lot, but one of the coolest things I ever saw in any YouTube model train thing was Brian making a roundhouse turntable out of a microwave. I know I've talked about it many times, but I still, that blew me away. I wouldn't have thought of that. So now he's back to the one channel. Yeah, there's a few channels I lost track of and just haven't seen in a long time. A wife and a girlfriend should never get between a man's trains. Well, it depends on what you mean by between, and it also depends on what she's wearing. I'm sorry, that was a sexist statement to make, but
I mean, where in the world is this thing derailing?
uh-oh. We can't have derailings.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
misbehaving tonight, Anthony.
Oh, battery died on your phone. I mean, there'd be plenty of times Joyce can get between me and my trains. I'm just going to say trains come second or third. It all depends on, never mind. Oh my God, we're going up. Well, Mav, they usually do, which is why women are so unhappy. Never mind. I didn't. Okay, why did I decide to go blue today? I am already going blue. No, that was very cool to see it, Mark. That was very cool. I'm sorry we lost you too soon.
What in the world?
No, I disagree, Andy. If you're in a hole, just keep digging because eventually you'll come out the other end and you'll be coming out the top of a hole instead of buried in the bottom. Now you got to get through that whole molten plasma center of the earth bit, but that's a different story. You know, normally I only work blue when Artie's in charge, and then it's just my job to make all the jokes. When Artie's not here, I try to be more serious, but I have no routine, and I've gone to she's gonna make me sleep in the train room. Oh, hell no, ain't nobody make me sleep in this train room. The nice thing about you guys watching my train room is you can't smell it because the cat boxes are right inside that door there. And when they come down and do their little bits of business, it just lingers here and lingers here. Besides, you can tell Joyce and she just go, pfft. We've been together 41 years. I'm not going to surprise her anymore. She'll normally say, I'm surprised he didn't say this, you know, and add to it. But then again, she might add to it as well. That's how Joyce and I connected. Joyce and I, the very first time we met, we realized we both had very subversive and off-kilter senses of humor. Yeah, Mark, they occasionally do hop up here. They can't hop up on their own straight up, but if I forget to push the chairs in, these chairs in, I push them under the sides here. If I happen to leave it out, then yes, they will hop on it and then go straight to get on top of it. I've caught them on top of it a couple of times, and yeah, I try to terrify them out of it, but I think it's redundant to say it, but I have two cats from hell. I mean, personally, I think all cats are from hell, but these two came from a special, super low level, direct from Satan himself level of hell. Jean Ricard, go to bed. All right, Brian, you're going to go try to sleep. Well, so will I. But then again, I'm on live, so that can't. That'd be a funny stream. Y'all just turn in and watch me while I'm. If you listen really deep, you'll hear Joyce sneezing. And there's 3. Joyce always sneezes 3 times. It's really weird. There's always 3 sneezes. Achoo, achoo, achoo. No, I mean, anybody that's paid attention to my live stream consistently knows I have a love-hate relationship with my cats, with the sense that I love to hate my cats. They were rescue cats, and I regret rescuing them. Yeah, wake up in time. Because, yeah, it is 2. Yeah, it's 2 a.m. there. It's 3 a.m. where Jean Ricard is. Are you kidding? That tree's there all year round. Randall's tree is there all year round.
Yep, they're here all year round. They're just lit only some of the time.
So is there another show this weekend? Over you UK guys, is there another show this weekend? Because in the US, they had the big one in Timonium, where Ray Bobel and all those guys are meeting. 2 foot by 8 foot by 30-inch boards. Okay. Joyce's mom would sneeze whenever she goes in the sun, and now Joyce has been doing that for a few years. If especially on warm days, if she goes out as soon as she hits the sun, but she always sneezes 3 times, regardless of what prompts it. It's 3 sneezes, and for the last several years, I count, and she gets annoyed. 1, 2, and there's 3. Okay. November 9th at Crew is Alsager's exhibition, November 9th. So it's not like this weekend or tomorrow. Okay. You got mice playing on your layout when not in use. Well,
we still got one more week for the October display, and then December the Christmas display pops up at the Harlan Museum. So
yeah, December Christmas display. I'm hoping I'll have a really wonderful steamer palooza for Christmas this year. Because the other thing I want to do is, oh my God, do you know how many ICEs I can now run on my layout? Those 4 plus an additional 5. I could put 2 ICEs on every lane.
Nancy, there ain't no taming Cheyenne. She's doing cheerleading right now. So this year, so
well, that should burn some energy.
Oh yeah, well, she was down here today with her parents, and one of her friends is down. They was giving the calves shots today, and putting tags in their ears.
No, that's just it, Attila. I can't run a 103. It's a DC2 rail. I can't run it. And it's not an easy convert to AC3 rail. It's a DC2. No, I've already got kind of plans what I'm going to do. I'm going to run some more Herb specials. One way or the other, I think we're going to do a Orient Express, or at least I'll run a mix of the Orient Express cars that Herb sent me. It will not be prototypical, but it doesn't have to be prototypical. No, I actually tend to do one all ICE in January or February because winter and snow. So I do an all. Although it's funny, I got a lot of dislikes on that one. Like even a couple of comments were like, all white trains, boring. Some people, no matter what theme you come up with, they find something to be unhappy about.
There ain't no train that's boring.
Can I show a close-up of my train or of my track? Well, here is a piece of my track if that would work for you. Bing. There you go. That is my track. This is called Merklin C track. And yes, those little nubs, as we call them in the middle, those are the third rail. This is pre-bedded. And if you look underneath, the beautiful thing about this is you can actually see down the middle here is the actual metal third rail, but they just stick the little nubs up. and the nubs are shorter than the actual rail. So if you look at it eyesight, you don't see them. Obviously, people tend to look above. So they paint them the same color as the sleepers, but it is 3 rail. That is your power. But the nice thing is, because it's AC at this level of voltage actually is a better electrical power. So you have much less loss, much less resistance through the layout. So my entire layout here, this giant monster here, I have 2 power cords running the main section, the main 6 loops. And then I have 1 additional power to each of the 2 parking areas. So that is how it works. Did Chris say he's taken off? All right. No, Chris, thank you for coming in.
Have a good one, Valleys.
I was getting ready to do my, not so much Lee Marvin, but I was getting ready to do my Clint Eastwood. I can't tell in all this excitement whether I shot 5 or 6. Tell me, punk, do you feel lucky?
What the heck?
Who, what?
I was trying to figure out what in the world just happened.
Well, a lot could happen. But
no, I was looking at my train, Anthony. Sorry.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
It just stopped all of a sudden. I don't know what in the world happened.
No drop wires needed. Once it's clicked together, it doesn't come apart. You don't get separation. It already has expansion built into it. Here, I've got a little turnout. Even the turnouts, you put the decoder under here. You put the motor under here. The motors are flat and long, and you connect it with the decoder, and everything just goes switchy, nice and easy. And again, no drop wires. You don't have to have those mounted switches, you know, your turtle electro, all those things, those boxes underneath. It all fits in under the bed. I did have one that was wired up, but I don't see it here now, so I don't know what I did with it. Did I throw it down here? It's nothing there. There's nothing there. Nothing there. Nothing there. I bet you're up here, aren't you? Oh, there it is. There it is. Yep. Here we go. Here we go, kids. Yep. There we go. So here's one. There is the decoder. So this is a digital. There's the motor. There's the decoder. Nothing goes below. You don't have to drill holes into your baseboards. Everything stays in. It's powered through the pickups here. It's powered through the track. And then because it's powered through the track, the decoder signal goes through the track and comes to my control system. And so if I want to open, although I tend to run 6 trains, so I don't need to open my switches. But if I were wanting to switch lanes, I just pop a couple of buttons, beep, 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 beep. And it has a decoder address just like a model train, and you just click open or close. Pop, pop. Amazing system. I love it. Some people don't like it because the track doesn't look prototypical, although in Germany you will see ballast that looks like this, and this actually isn't that non-prototypical in parts of Germany. But it's pretty cool. And then when you click it all together, if I hold that up there, you can see there is just ever so subtly a small gap there that allows for expansion and contraction. So it's just, it's an amazing system. It really is. I'm glad I stumbled into it. I did not know what I was doing when I got into American and 3-rail, but I'm glad I fell into it because it is digital trains for dummies. It's an amazing system. Anyhow, let's bring Randall back up. There he is. What you need, though, is instead of that little lamp you got there in front of the Christmas tree, you need a lava lamp. Yep. So we can all be like...
Yeah, I've got one. Yeah, I've got one, actually, Anthony. So,
yes, Xantech. It's under the name Trix, Trix. It's called Trix C-Track. But again, it's only HO. It's only HO. So it's similar to Kato, although Kato runs everything out the side. Kato is also very user-friendly. And by the way, just in case people try to correct me, the correct pronunciation is Kato. In Japanese, the A is pronounced ah. It's Kato. And my friend Christopher actually met the Mr. Kato himself.
Well, I'm gonna have to do more work to that track clean car, I guess.
Hey, Raymond, Anthony, how are you? Well, the thing is, because originally, first of all, even 3-rail DC is not as good a power conducting, electricity conducting as 3-rail AC. 3-rail DC is sort of an awkward, I don't even know if I want to call it a hybrid, but originally everything was 3-rail. Everything was pure AC, and you had your 3 bits. In fact, I don't care where you live, your houses are AC, alternating current. But because I'm not even sure why somebody came up with the idea of 3-rail DC, but because it still presented problems where AC is just a more consistent power supply. It's a more consistent, more fluid current flow. He did not pronounce it wrong. No, because Americans and Brits tend to say Kato, because we grew up with in America, we grew up with Bruce Lee as Kato in the Green Hornet, spelled Katon, and we say Kato, but properly it's the A is pronounced ah in every language. If you do German, A's are pronounced ah, Vater, Hagen, and Haben, ah. English is the one that's weird, and that's the problem. Like when I would teach, I taught German for 19, 20 years. I'm teaching in French, the letter A is pronounced ah. Paris, you don't say Paris, it's Paris. But we happen to speak the one language where we changed all the vowels. The great vowel change of the 16 and 1700s, 17th and 18th century. All right, Monsville, take care. Are you still in Auckland, or have you come home yet? Oh, I just read the rest of your line there. Home in a few days. All right. Enjoy. So, yeah, I'm Anthony. Of course, my name is pronounced Anthony because we say, Anthony. Although, to most guys in the UK, I'm Anthony. Unless they hear it. That the TH gets pronounced T a lot, Anthony. But I am Anthony. Oh, there's quite a difference, Attila. What would a magma lamp look like? Just be all boring with it sitting down there. It's lava.
I've actually got a little bit of a different lamp, Anthony. It's not a lava lamp. I'll show you here in just a second. Just give me a minute.
Just make sure it's not your bong.
Oh, don't worry. It's a train themed lamp. So.
Now, do you say Carteret or Carteret County Speedway tonight? Southern Ground Pounders are awesome. My dad raced cars in the 50s, 40s and 50s. My dad was a car racer. I don't know how much Bernie charges. Is what fully completed? Is my layout fully completed? No, my layout's hardly. In fact, I'm about to do a major renovation on one side of my layout. I'm about to rip out some track. It's not going to be for a few months yet, but I'm buying some new pieces and I'm going to redo the entire. I'm going to do what I call the Bremen side. So let's go to that camera so you can see what I'm talking about. And hello to Delmarva, and hello to somebody else came in. I just saw, or was it just Delmarva? I thought I saw somebody else. Oh, Brian at Rock Rail Fan. Nice to have you in, Brian. So what camera did I want to go to? The long view. Where's the long view? This one. So yeah, this side over here. Do I have my pointy thingy? The pointy thingy. I have a pointy thingy, but I'd get in trouble if I showed it on TV. Okay. So anyhow, from about here, actually, no, from about here this way, this is all coming out, and these are being replaced by double slips. These turnouts are being replaced by double slips. And then I am going to redo all of this track all the way around here to reline it up here and give me slightly different algorithm of how my tracks are spaced over there. Bing! I don't know how much I will do because I tend to just go and work, and I don't like trying to film while I'm working because then I'm thinking about the camera and not focusing on what I'm doing. So usually what I do is I work so far until I'm done and I don't want to work anymore. And then I'll film and say, well, here's what it looked like before I started. Now here's where it's at now, and this is what I did. So, you know, even if I were to stick a camera or even like use this camera while I'm over here ripping things out, if I have that camera on and I know that camera's filming me, then I'm like, oh, wait, I got to adjust this. And I'm not focusing on my job. And I really have to focus on what I'm doing. Otherwise, I get distracted and mess up.
There's that lamp, Anthony.
Yeah. That's a choo-choo.
Yeah. Found that sucker at a yard sale. All places.
It's beyond concentration. It's I've never worked well on camera when I'm doing that sort of mechanical stuff. When I'm doing other things, like if somebody were filming me when I was doing my job, I have no problem. Except I had to watch my language better. Sorry, my phones are pinging because my family chat, my wife and daughter are talking to each other and ping, ping. So apparently I've got some pictures of my grandson to look at. So, okay, let's go back to that. I probably should do a different camera then. Where's the Nexi Solo? There we go. There, that's pictures of my grandson today, the most adorable grandson in the world. I'm sorry I'm biased, but there we go. I worked hard, Mo. Oh, that's a good picture. That is a cute picture. All right, no, Mav, wow, thank you for stopping in because I know it's late for you guys over there. Doing the fireman thing. Ah, what an adorable cutie. And now the more serious pose. Oh, he's grown up so fast. This kid has grown up on YouTube. He was only 7 weeks old when he made his first appearance on YouTube. And now he's going to be 4 in a couple of months.
Well, it won't be. It won't be long. He'll be 13, like my niece is right
Shut
now.
up. Just shut up. Just shut up. Don't go there, because the problem is when you start saying that, I start adding up how old I will be.
I know the feeling.
Which is, no, you don't. You haven't hit 60 yet.
I'm getting closer every day, though.
I've got 20 years on you. You are the greatest grandson. But yeah, he's lost a lot of the interest in trains lately. Although just the other day he had us down here and wanted to, but he likes playing with the cars and the trucks here more than the trains.
See, Cheyenne used to be on YouTube with me all the time, and now she's off doing Minecraft and cheerleading and all that other stuff.
Yep, they'll come back in. Yeah, you know you're old when you add an extra grate to your current grates. Yeah. I don't know. I don't think I'll be around to be a great. I definitely won't be around to be a great. There's just too much gap. My daughter was in her 30s. My oldest daughter was in her 30s when she had Cayenne. And like my mom became a grandmother at age 40. And she was a great grandma by 60. So there's very strong possibility she'll be a great grandma.
Yeah. Sorry, Anthony, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I was going to answer.
No, you're fine.
I am in north central Arkansas. I'm not really near a town at what you would say. The best way I can tell people is I'm about halfway between Mammoth Spring and Salem, Arkansas. So
it's just a number. It seems to be with Joyce. Like I said, she never looks her age. When she's tired, she looks about 10, 15 years under her age. When she's rested and we go out, I have actually been accused of being her uncle and her father, and it has pissed me off. Actually, it shouldn't have pissed me off. We were at a comedy club once, and the guy said, how long you guys have been married? Like 30 years. He said, what'd you do? Start dating her when she was 9? And like, no, she's 50, whatever she was at the time. And he went, how was the trip? The drugs were good. No, I could go on for hours and hours because I have yesterday for 3 hours. I had a great time. It was great to meet all these people. Because again, we didn't go for the train show. In fact, we don't even have 10 seconds of video from the train show. I was going to video, but I couldn't have gotten my camera out to videotape because, I got to do what Alan, I now understand Alan having his grandson around because you don't get a chance to videotape yourself. If you try to start filming and you're trying to meet everybody and everybody's trying to meet you. It was insane. I wish I had more video, but I didn't. I got to see a few of the layouts at Warley, and on Sunday we did a quick walk through the main floor area of Getz. But I won't say that I really stopped and checked out. There was a couple. We looked a little bit at a couple of layouts, including Pete Waterman's, but there were a couple layouts there that I thought were much better done than Pete Waterman's. Shh. John is one of those, but Tony Pinnell's at Tony Northeastern to me, and then before he went professional and now doesn't come on YouTube anymore. Oh crap! Now I've lost his name. Galgorm Hall, Paul at Galgorm Hall. I don't ask me to judge who's the best scratch builder between the three. And even Digger, when he does his scratch building, Digger Evans, don't ask me to judge because they are all so exquisitely talented. And I'll tell you what, I can't scratch build anymore. My hands just won't let me do the details anymore. It sucks. But when I did that Dumner station over there, I'll put that up with anybody's for the creativity and on top of how realistic it is, photorealistic to the actual one, and that's 100% scratch built. The bus station and the Dumnhorst station over there. Boomer dioramas. I've seen it. I'm not. Yeah, Alan had his entourage with Babs, his daughter, and his grandson. I had some fun with his grandson. I had some fun. Yeah, Tony, his layout would be epic to see in person. But, I mean, this is a man that relaxes by the intense, fine details. See, that, in my heyday, I could do something like that, but I would find that intensity of the details to be nerve-wracking. I could do it, but it would drive me crazy, where he actually enjoys it and it relaxes him. Had a great talk about that with him. I'm not saying I'm of that skill. Everett Junction. Now, sadly, that layout, well, I guess technically Everard Junction's layout still exists, but he doesn't live with it anymore. I guess that was in his mother's house or his grandmother's house. I forget which one. And from what I understand, he lost his job, got a new job, has moved, and he's building a new layout in his house. And I suppose he may eventually come back onto YouTube to explain all that's happened, but it's his personal business, and we don't have to know. Hey, Closet Branch, how are you? And there's so many great people, and the problem is I will name the UK channels because those are the ones I know the most. I'm sure there's dozens of top American channels. I can name a few top German channels as well, but they're in German. Who's going to watch them? Yeah, Dean Park is an excellent builder and scratch builder. No doubt about that. I don't follow him too much. I used to, but I don't anymore. When you met your wife, I said it's me or the car. Yep. No, when Joyce and I married, there were no such had to give anything up. And by the time we married, it was just you bring your baggage, I'll bring my baggage, and we'll just try to store it all together and repress it as much as we can. Oh yeah. Now, Dave, I have been to Miniature Wonderland 6 times, and it will be 7 next June. I will be at Miniature Wonderland in June again next year. Anytime I go to Germany, I will visit Miniature Wonderland. They always add something, but it's just something that it never gets old. There are certain things that no matter how many times you go see it, it's never not cool. In fact, that's how Dawn Quest and I actually had a bit of a chat at Getz, because somebody introduced us, and I said, "Oh, right, I saw your video," because I had never heard of her before. I hope that doesn't sound terrible. I just had never heard of her, and then she popped up on one of my suggested feeds because she went to Miniature Wonderland, and because I've been to Miniature Wonderland, I've done videos on Miniature Wonderland. I've met one of the owners of Miniature Wonderland. Very nice talk for quite a while. I mean, and all that. And the best thing, and by the way, David, let me give you a couple of suggestions. Number one, go online, and I don't know how long it'll be until you go, but if you have it, pick a day and buy your tickets online early. Okay. At least, if possible, 6 months in advance, because otherwise you could wait in line for 2 hours or more to get in. Buy your tickets in advance, because they have so many tickets they sell, and then they let other people in as they can. And it's never crowded in there. They could make 3 times the money they make if they just let people come in en masse, as a lot of places do. But they keep it so the flow. Once you get in, you can stay in as long as you want. So 2 things I'll advise you. 3 things I'll advise you. Number one, buy your tickets in advance. See what times they have it. Because they start booking them from like 7:30 a.m. all the way down to midnight. Because they're open. I think they close for 6 hours a night. They close like 1 a.m. and open again at 7, whatever it is. So number one, buy very early if at all possible. Pick the day you're going to go and buy tickets early. Secondly, if at all possible, get the after 6 hours. Because 3 hours is plenty of time to really see it. Although you could spend, I've stayed as long as 6 hours there one time, but usually I'm in and out in 3. But after 6 o'clock, the crowds are smaller because all the tourists and everybody kind of leave, and it's just, and so you'll definitely get a much nicer chance to really not have to fight through a crowd to go in and see things, although you really don't have to. But after, and then the other thing is, if you can, get the behind the scenes tour. It's worth it, because these guys put so many things into it that only the behind the scenes tour people and the workers actually see, but they entertain themselves. There is scenes that only those people see. And it's very cool to see how the airport operates and all the things going on underneath and behind, because you get to see all that. You get to go into the control rooms and see it all in operation and see everybody working. So those are the 3 things.
By the way, yeah, that's really cool. By the way, thanks, Del Mar Rail fan. I really like this engine quite a bit. This is a CP Rail SD70 ACU made by Athearn. This was their Genesis 2.0 line that they had for a little while, and then it's kind of gradually got integrated into the regular Genesis line. So the 2.0 line's basically been dropped by this point. So, but yeah, this engine here, this is one of the 2 that's went over 60 cars on the drawbar.
Oh, cool.
So, if you go back to a live stream I did, I think it was 2 years ago now, you'll actually see it on video pulling that train. This engine pulled 64, and the Kansas City Southern ET44 that scale train's made in the rivet car line also pulled 64. So these are the only 2 engines to go over 60. So as of right now we're gonna, hopefully, if things go well, next week we're gonna take another group of engines up there, and they're gonna take a crack at it and see what they can do. But so far, nothing's been able to touch them yet. Some good sounding engine too.
Cool. Yeah, it looks very sharp. Anyhow, so let me see. What did somebody ask here? Yeah, Mark at Xantec. They make a lot of money, but the thing is, if you understand what you get to see in there, I think the last time Joyce and I went was 2023, and we paid, I think it was 13 or 14 euros to get in. So about $15. So about 13 pounds. Okay. Maybe the price has gone up a bit, but it's not expensive. They limit the number of people that can come in. They could easily double that. And even then, they have been 1 or 2 in the most visited site in Germany every year for the last 10 years or so. They actually were the most visited site 3 years in a row. And then last year, I think Neuschwanstein, the famous fairy tale castle, passed them again. And so they were motivated this year to try and beat Neuschwanstein because they had been like 3 years in a row the most visited place. So they keep the price. When you realize what you get, now there are additional prices if you want to do other things. Like if you want to do their 3D tour, that's an additional bit of money. If you want to do their, they have this thing where you go into this room and you're wearing these goggle things, and they put you in the layout. You go into this room, and it's sort of like an obstacle course, but you pick a part of the layout, and that's like 15 euros by itself to do that. It's not part of the exhibit. You have to pay an additional one so that you can go and do their virtual reality bit, but it puts you in the layout. You become an HO figurine, and you're walking through sections of the layout virtually. But they put you in this room with an obstacle course. So if there's something in your way, in the virtual reality layout, there's something in your way in the actual room. So it's kind of weird, but they charge extra for that. But the basic, just seeing the layouts and the 2 buildings is like £14, maybe now £15. But they, and the thing is, they could charge 20 euros, 20 pounds. They could charge that 25, and people would still pay to go. Plus, they have 2 days a year that they do free admission for people who can't afford it. And all you have to do is walk in and say, I can't afford it. Ich kann es nicht leisten. I can't afford it. And they let you in for free on that day. Now, they put you on your honor. And occasionally you get some big, stupid American tourists that come there. Oh, yeah, I can't afford it. It's like you're with 60 people that on a luxury cruise. You know, maybe you should be able to afford it. But they do it so that impoverished people can come and see it. The 2 brothers give millions away to charity. Millions. And they pay all their workers, from the clerks to the waitresses and the wait staff and the cashiers, to all the people that run it. Those guys get paid salaries that they can live on well, on top of the national healthcare system Germany has, which is exquisite. So, you know, it's not like they're all a bunch of minimum wage flunkies. And I don't say that against people who work for minimum wage. I say, you know, sadly, in America, minimum wage is way too low. I'm going to get political, so I better behave. I have not picked the exact date. Well, actually, I have picked the exact date. It's like June 3rd. It's June 3rd or June 4th. I'd have to look it up and talk to you later, Attila. But it's something that's going to be awesome. And again, these guys do so much because they made their money. They were both computer tech guys, high-end guys, and they made a killing in the software writing industry. Both of them did. They made massive amounts of money. They were big-time program writers and software designers. And they took the money they made from that and they invested in a big nightclub in Hamburg, which made them a lot more money. And then Frederick, they're twins, and Frederick is sort of like the master. Frederick was the idea guy, and Garrett, the one I met, is the let's make it work guy. But it was Frederick's idea to build Miniature Wonderland, and then Garrett really kind of is the mechanical guy behind it, including designing the car system they have, the rail system they use, and the control systems. Plus, he's got dozens of IT people that help him work it all out. But it is absolutely brilliant. But that's just it. They keep it. The people that work there are the friendliest, happiest people. It's a passion, and they get paid for doing it. So it's not like they're overworked or pushed or what have you. They want people that have a passion for it. And if you lose the passion, and they also rotate people. So you're going to work on this for a while, and then, okay, we don't want you getting too burned out on that, so we'll have you working on that for a while. But they do have people who are specifically graphic designers and painters and model engineering types. But, that's why they've had so many people that have worked there 15, 20. They're going on what? Year 24? Because I think they opened in 2001. So, it'd be cool to go in 2026, but we'll be in the UK in 2026. But it'd be kind of cool to go in 2026 when they're celebrating their 25th anniversary, because it is. You don't have to be into model trains. It is so damn cool. And by the way, there are a million dirty jokes, along with all kinds of other jokes scattered throughout it. There's just dirty jokes everywhere. Sex jokes. There's a scene on a hill in their Hamburg section where they're filming a porno movie in a park, and there's a couple of monks walking along the path about to walk on the guys filming the porno. Oops. People having all sorts of relationships in cars and hotel rooms and office rooms, and then there's James Bond jokes, and they have a running joke with penguins. There are penguins everywhere, just standing around waiting, riding roller coasters, waiting for a train, hailing a taxi. It is Hamburg, although Hamburg is not the city it was in the 50s and 60s. They've cleaned up a lot. The old red light district is now a tourist destination where everybody goes in, although you still don't want to hang around there at night unless you know what you're doing. YouTube doesn't do anything. We all see this big nasty YouTube, but it's viewers. It's viewers. Viewers come in and they'll red flag a video and then protest it or what have you. But yeah, Miniature Wonderland is just it's you can't understand it until you see it. You can't understand until you see it. And I've gone to all the other big German ones. I went to Traumwerk, which I talked about, showed video a couple of weeks ago. I went to the Märklinaeum, and I've been to them. I've been to Northlands, and nothing compares. The level of detail, the power, the size, the majesty of it, it's mind-boggling. And just the people there are amazing. Now, I mean, fortunately, I don't go into these places and act like an asshole. Sadly, when Joyce and I travel, we do run into the ugly Americans that feel they need to make fools of themselves. I've been in restaurants where you get some guy from somewhere in the United States. Why doesn't anybody here speak English, damn it? Because the country's called Germany and they speak a language called German. There's a small one in Innsbruck. The one I'm mad we missed is the one in Switzerland because it was 100 feet behind us at a bus stop Joyce and I were waiting for when we went to see the Rhine Falls. It was right behind us. We missed the little sign that said Switzerland's largest model train layout display down these steps. Somehow we missed that sign because we might have said, we'll hit this on the way back. And let me see. The Penguins might be a Linux thing, given most of the crew are ex-high-end programmers. It could be. It could very well be that the Penguins are because of Linux. Although I will say a lot of their control system is Linux, but they also use Windows. They use them both. And then again, they also use their own proprietary operating system. This is how high-end these brothers were. They have their own little high-end system. They were, but the thing is, the two brothers are, like I said, I started talking about it a couple of weeks ago, and then I didn't get to it. Joyce and I met Garrett by accident. Garrett Brown. We met him by accident. Joyce and I were going to the locker rooms, and we kind of got turned around, and we turned right instead of left, and we found ourselves down this hallway where there was more controls, and like, are we supposed to be here? And out of this door that says, office personnel only, Garrett walks right out, and I acted like a schoolgirl seeing the Beatles. I'm like, oh, it's him! It's him! And Joyce was like, settle down, honey, settle down. It's Garrett Brown. And he's walking up like, yes, I am. Hello. And instead of saying, you don't belong back here, he stopped and talked to us for 15, 20, 25 minutes. It was quite a while. A nice chat. We talked a lot of things. This is back in 2017. We talked America. We talked American politics, what was going on in the country, how we felt about some stuff. He asked about where we're from and where we're, Toledo. Oh, isn't that the city Jamie Farr from MASH? Yeah, exactly. Okay. He was so friendly. And well, the thing is, David, that's how I react to almost everybody I meet that I've seen on TV or YouTube. Even when I saw you, I think you saw my reaction. Oh, it's you! Oh my God, it's you! When I saw Dino, it was like, oh shit, Dino's here. And Andy, but there he is. And he's all in his leather biker duds and such. And we just had so many like that. But I do react that way because you're all TV stars, all of you that I watch your channels. I see you on the TV and then I see you in real life. It's no different than, oh my God, look, it's David Schwimmer from this show, or it's this guy, because I don't watch those shows. So, the first time I met Lord Al, it's just like, holy crap, it's him. And Andrew McDowell from March West Junction. And yeah, it's mind-boggling how amazing it is. I just feel so lucky that I was in the situation where I could do this, where I could literally say, hop on a plane and leave Thursday, arrive Friday, come home Monday. And I had that opportunity. I could do it. And I'm lucky, blessed, if you want to say that. It was to be able to do it because it's not going to happen again. Joyce and I are, as far as we can tell, we're not just going to, let's hop off and go to Getz again. The next best thing that could happen is we will be in England in 2026. We'll be in the UK in 2026. And we're trying to plot our course. But we are going to be in York, and we're going to take a Saturday or a Sunday and have a get together at the York Railway Museum in 2026. And we're just going to say, guys, we're going to be there. Hope some of you can come and say hello again. I don't know what Artie was doing when we met him. I think he was trying to proposition a kangaroo and try to get a quickie before we arrived, but we came in early, so we caught him off guard. York is an awesome railway museum. I'll have to visit some American ones just to get a scene, because we went to Artie took us to the New South Wales Railway Museum, and that was very cool. But York is something else. York is very cool. But of course, again, our feelings for York are because we got to meet so many wonderful YouTubers there. So that just kind of makes the place have its own vibe. But of course, we were with Artie, so that made it a cool vibe when we went to the New South Wales Railroad. But that's it. I've never been to an American Railway Museum. I should go to one, I guess. But Joyce and I don't travel the United States. We will someday. I mean, I grew up traveling the United States. My dad always just packed us in the car and we're driving that way for 3 days and then we're turning around and driving back. Okay, Dad. It should be. Hopefully it'll be complete. And again, I've had people tell me that they actually are ahead of schedule. And then Carl and a couple of you were telling me that's not the case. But I'm trying to remember who said that they actually have got a couple of areas done and ready to reopen already. Yes, Artie, that would be Old York. But not, there are many other Yorks that are newer Yorks, but they're not called New York. There's a York in Ohio. There's a York, Ontario. But I would assume that's the original York, or as the Vikings called it, Jorvik. Because Joyce loved that museum. Joyce loved the Jorvik Viking Museum. It was cool. One of the coolest educational museums we've been in. That was very cool. Love the Jorvik, and Joyce wants to go back to it. But anyhow, yep, it is. It was a Viking summit, Jorvik, which made it really cool because we were playing Assassin's Creed, the Viking one, and they do a lot in York, and then trying to go in there, and so when we went and met the people from York, we were asking them what things they got right and wrong, and they said, well, they did come here and talk to us and get information, but they threw half of that information out because, for example, you're going into this church. Well, that church wasn't built until 100 years after the Viking era, and also at the time the Vikings lived there wouldn't have been these 2- and 3-story churches that you're playing in the game. We understand why they did it, but there wouldn't have been those 3-story buildings the way the way the churches were done in the game in York at that time. Oh, you're playing through that game now? Valhalla, right. Yeah, I played through Valhalla before we went to it. Although there's a couple of DLCs that I haven't played. I need to go back and play now and I haven't even played the new one that came out. And now another new one's coming out. The funny thing is, I bought a PlayStation 5 in the UK because we couldn't get them in America. So I bought it in the UK and sent it home. And I've played it. Well, I just got done playing Space Marines. So I finally played. But for over a year and a half, we've had that stupid PlayStation 5 in the house that I went through all the trouble to buy and send home. And I hadn't played it until this summer when I finally played Space Marines. All right, Andy, I will hopefully be awake and see you in your live stream. Really, I should wrap this up. I just looked and saw it's 9:53, and I was only going to go an hour today, but I get talking, and then it just goes on and on and on.
I'm just hanging out and enjoying it. So,
well, I appreciate that. I just when I went over there, I was just in case people ask questions. I wasn't going to see the chat because I can use my phone as an additional add-on camera. Through OBS, because I have OBS running through StreamYard here, so I can still scroll through. I'm just not running my train, so I don't have to scroll through all the cameras. You're playing PGA Tour Masters. I can't do golf. I caddied for 4 years at the Top Country Club here in Toledo, and it made me hate golf. I actually worked the 1979 U.S. Open. I was a ground back then on Thursdays and Fridays. They didn't do television on Thursdays and Fridays. They only showed the Saturday and Sunday rounds on TV. So they didn't have the professional PGA grounds people come in until Saturday morning. Or actually they came in late Friday night to make sure everything was television worthy. So we worked the sand traps and the water hazards and stuff. The top caddies did. So 1979, I stood with a rake and got to meet a few of the professional golfers. You weren't supposed to approach them or talk to them, but they would come to you. And I just remember my friend Ron Tincher telling me, Dodge, make sure you got a Sharpie and a white cap. Sharpie and a white cap, just do it. Okay, so I had my white cap and a Sharpie, in my pocket, a couple of them. And I just remember, I think it was Chichi Rodriguez hit one over, and I think I was working the 7th hole, working a sand trap, and he hit it over there, and he asked for a rake, so I raked it up, and he had to wait for somebody to play through, and so he leaned over and he starts talking to me. It's like, oh, so you work here? And I'm like, because we got told, do not talk to the pros. He says, you can talk to me. You're just not allowed to start the conversation, but you can say hello. And I was like, he says, you got your Sharpie? I'm like, what? Do you have your Sharpie? Oh, yeah, yes, sir. And he grabs it and he writes Chi Rodriguez across my cap. And I wound up getting Lanny Weiskopf and a couple other guys on there. And then I remember the next day on Friday, I was on a different hole, and Lee Trevino came through, and he looked at my hat and he says, oh, you got quite a few signatures on there. I suppose you want mine. And I'm like, all right. I said, I'm just playing with you. It's all right. You got your Sharpie? And I'm like, yeah. He says, let me see. Oh, you got Chichi Rodriguez on there. Fine, I'll do it. If Chichi can sign your cap, I'll sign your cap. And Lee Trevino signed it. And I sold that cap for a couple $100, and it was worth a hell of a lot more. Okay, so on that note, let me see. Xantec said, how do you cope with the difference between UK's 240s? I have adapters. Joyce and I are longtime travelers, so we carry voltage adapters. I have multi-plugs for Germany and the UK. We just bring them, plug them in, and everything's like, in fact, I've got this here. This here is rated 110. It's rated 110 to 240. So all I just need is a plug adapter, an outlet adapter. I don't even need a voltage adapter. It's 110 to 240, 50 to 75 hertz. And I just take that and plug that in, and I can charge. It's got 3 USB C's and 4 USB 3s. 3 USB C's and 4 USB 3s. And that pretty much plugs in everything. And then I just have my computer, and the power pack on my computer is 110 to 240. So it's already prepared for it. Again, just a regulator for that. And then if Joyce has anything that's electric that needs plugged in, we carry a small one that we plug in that is a voltage adapter. All right. So anyhow, ladies and gentlemen, I have been babbling way too long, and people's ears have got to be tired. But I want to thank you all for joining us. Someday, Artie will return in some shape or another, as long as the Kangaroo Mafia doesn't find him. Nothing worse than a pissed off kangaroo with a contract out on you.
That sounds rough.
It's a tough life. Artie's been in hiding for a while. But on that note, it's actually my bedtime, not to mention all you guys in the UK. You guys are way up late. I remember when I used to stay up that late, and then I got old. I feel like that old Marcel character from Kenny Everett. That's the problem with getting old. It now takes me all night to do what I used to do all night. So anyhow, Randall, thank you. By the way, I never did. Thank you for filling in last week.
Oh, hey, not a problem. Like I said, when I looked on the board, I was up really high on the board, and I was like, I probably better go ahead and do the show, because I'm afraid if I wait till the actual start time, they're going to call me on trip. And so I went ahead and started it, and lo and behold, they never called me on the trip. So till later on that night. So
cool. So anyhow, so thank you for that. Thank you for coming and hanging out today.
Yep, not a problem. Appreciate you letting me come on.
Yeah, not that I let anybody talk, because once I start flapping these gums, they just go.
Yeah.
All right. So anyhow, to everybody, good night. Stay safe. I'll see all my fellow knights of the Rhomboid table next Friday. I'll try to have something a little more entertaining ready to go next Saturday. Friday, I do my live stream where you see my trains running and everything. Starts at 8 p.m. UK time, 3 p.m. Eastern United States time. Although you guys are about to change dates, so I can't keep it up. So anyhow, good night, everybody. Take care. We'll see you all. Same bat time, same bat channel. Take care.
See you guys.